CRTA Board of Directors meeting for Wednesday, July 20th at 8:30. At this time, I would like to introduce, I think, our person who's going to be doing our Pledge of Allegiance, which is a United States veteran, Richard Barrett. Mr. Barrett was born in Mass City, Michigan, but moved to Texas in 1948, where he lived on a big ranch in a bunkhouse with real cowboys. All right. I said Richard was drafted in 1962. He was stationed in Oxford, Ohio, South Korea, and in El Paso, Texas. Mr. Richards' decorations include the Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, and the Korean Defense Medal. He also has volunteered with the Veterans Roundtable of Corpus Christi, the VA Outpatient Clinic, the American Red Cross, the Nueces County Veterans Service Office, and many more organizations. On behalf of the RTA, I wanted to thank you for the service you have provided to this country of ours. And having said that, would you please stand, remove your hat, address the flag, and he will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on agenda item number 2, safety briefing. Mr. Rendon, I do believe that is your segment. Okay, well, anybody else want to give our safety briefing?
Jeremy, can you get the mic?
He's just going to tell us to go just whatever way to leave the building.
Just follow Art out of here.
Yeah. He loves to say east and west, and it's confusing for some people. I'm not saying me. If he just says go this way out by City Hall, it's a lot easier. It really is.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was thanking the veteran that just said the pledge. For the safety briefing, in case we do have an emergency, please, all board of directors will exit through the kitchen. Everybody will exit to my right. I'll make sure everybody's out safely. And Marisa will account for all board of directors. During the emergency, please do not utilize the elevator. Do not return back to the building unless all clear. And then if we have to shelter in place on the west side stairwell. Just one reminder is that I already gave you guys top 10 things to be ready in case there's a hurricane. And as you all know, this past weekend, I did get calls to say, Mike, what was those top 10? So keep it in mind. You never know when a storm might come in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rendon. Agenda item number 3, roll call and establish quorum. Ms. Montiel, that's your call right there.
Arthur Granado.
Present.
Ana Jimenez. Here. Lynn Allison.
Present.
David Berlanga. Gabby Canales.
Present.
Beatrice Charo.
Present.
Jeremy Coleman. Armando Gonzalez.
Here.
Aaron Munoz.
Here.
Eloy Salazar.
Here.
Amanda Torres.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Agenda item number 4, confirm posting of meetings. Under Chapter 555, can you confirm that we did post this meeting for today?
Posting confirmed.
Thank you very much. Agenda item number 5, public notice on executive session. Be advised under the same chapter code, 551, we can't go in executive meeting anytime during this board meeting to discuss matters listed on the agenda. Agenda item number 6, conflict of interest affidavits. Do we have any that have been submitted to this board?
There were none received.
None received. Okay, we do have we have agenda item number 7, which is opportunity for public comment. Let you know that we do have a 3-minute limit. There'll be no discussion on that. Do we have anybody that is online or in public that has signed up for public comment? Anybody signed up? Sorry about that.
There are no public
Okay,
comments.
we have nobody who has signed up online or here in person that wants to address this board, so nobody. Agenda item number 8, adopt the resolution for the outgoing City of Corpus Christi appointed board member, Erica Mamie. And I do believe we do have some things to acknowledge on here, so feel free to read it. You already have it, so.
All right. Whereas Erica M. Mamie has diligently served as a member of the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority's Board of Directors, demonstrating exemplary commitment and exceptional leadership And whereas during her tenure, Eric Mamie oversaw the successful completion of significant capital projects, including the construction of the Del Mar College Oso Creek Superstops and the new Port Ayers Transfer Station. These projects have enhanced the accessibility and efficiency of CCRTA's public transportation system. And whereas Erica Mamie was instrumental in the advancement of CCRTA's shelter expansion program, the program has resulted in an installation of nearly 400 taller shelters throughout the service region, providing comfort and protection from the elements for passengers. And whereas Erica Mamie played a pivotal role in the development and implementation of CCRTA's Destination Education Program, which offers fare-free transportation to all pre-kindergarten to 12th grade students, ensuring that transportation is not a barrier to quality education. And whereas Erica Mamie has demonstrated a significant dedication to community efforts, advocating for initiatives that improve the quality of life for residents and work towards a stronger, more connected community within the service area. And whereas Erica Mamie helped develop CCRTA into a champion transit agency, during her time on the board of directors, CCRTA received national, regional, and state Transportation Association awards for its system, safety and security, and marketing initiatives. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority Board of Directors that Erica Mamie is hereby commended for her distinguished service to the CCRTA. So, but that, I want to say thank you, and again, like I've mentioned to some other board members, I want to say a personal thank you is part, put the trust in me in my selection and in helping develop me as we've moved along through this last year as my tenure. So thank you for everything that you've done for me and for this agency.
Thank you for that. I just want to say, and I've said it many times, I know I received an email yesterday that the CCRTA was granted with $5.88 million. And I know that that was a lot of work from everybody here, so congratulations to everybody for that. I just know that this is a great organization and that we do right by our community and our riders. I had 2 personal experiences being on the RTA board, which I think were very special for me and make me appreciate my time on the board. During the freeze, there was a homeless man at Starbucks. And because of me being on the board, I was able to give him the information and guide him. We provided free rides to the shelters, and he was able to get shelter because of that. So situations like that make me appreciate the time and the knowledge and everything that I gained from being on this board, and just the confidence to know that the CCRTA is doing a phenomenal job of doing the right things for the people that we're supposed to serve. And so I'm very proud of that, proud to serve on the board, and I love all the board members. Congratulations to the new board members. You're in a great organization, and you're gonna also be proud to be part of this organization. And I just leave happy knowing that the CCRTA is such a great organization that provides so much for the community, that works very well together with the city, with the county, with other organizations, and gives back to the community so much. So I'm very honored to have been part of this board and very proud of what you all do on a daily basis. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do also want to say, I know that if anybody else wants to say something, they can say that too, but I know you'll be missed. And, part of that 5.88, of course, was on your tenure on this board. But I also want to say one thing, to me, the impact, great job you've done on this board, obviously, but I do want to say that you have a lot of character on your ability. I know it's hard to get replaced. It's unfortunately, just politics play a role, but the way you have taken it and the way you've spoke before this board and the humbleness of how you react to it, because it's easy to win in life, it is, and the emotions on that is, it's joyful, but to I don't want to use the word lose, but when we get in those situations where you get replaced or whatever, that's character right there, because it shows who you really are and exactly how you deal with that, and the things that you said in relations to, since you've been, replaced on this board is very, I think people can look, and I said this, and I'm going to just say this, I told a lot of my friends that the first time that when you were up here last month, when when you said your speech. I said if people would just look at that, the way you had dignity and the way you said, just the greatness of what this board is about, even though you have been in place, I think if people just would do that and understand how to do that more, it'd be a lot better place. So I know you'll be missed, and if anybody else wants to say something, they can do that too. But I know I'll miss you. I know this board will miss you, and you gave it your heart, no doubt about that. And I do want to say thank you for being on here, and also for the 5.8 million that we, as part of the team that you are actually very, you're part of that helped get that. So I do want to say thank you for that too.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment, Mr. Chair? Erica, I have to tell you how much I love that you're such a firecracker, and although we didn't see eye to eye on everything, particularly with regard to our CEO search, you influenced me a great deal in those meetings. You were so prepared and so passionate, and it really did almost sway me. So I want you to know how powerful your voice is. The questions that you asked, the tough questions, the questions that were sometimes uncomfortable, I have so much respect for that. The last thing I want to say is that we're all here to work together, but we're not all here to be friends, and you are someone I consider a friend.
Oh,
So
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Richard Gonzalez?
Erica? Well, I've known you for probably longer than probably anybody else up here, but over 15 years easy. And likewise, it was a joy to work with you. The insight you brought to these meetings, I without a doubt would say you're probably the most prepared of all of us at all these meetings with your notes. But it's always good to have both sides, and it's good to have good debate, and then to leave that debate still friends. And I think we were able to do that throughout your tenure. And I'm definitely going to miss you on this board. And I am also very proud of how you've handled yourself and how you represent our board and how you continue to represent your family and yourself. So good luck.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you also, Erica. And getting to know you on the board here was really great. I love your personality. I love your outlook on life. The insight, the questions that you brought, I think were helpful for everybody when sometimes you don't want to ask that question. You were never afraid to. And I love that. It's because you brought more discussion from that as well. So I really just enjoyed hanging around with you, spending time with you, getting to know you. It was really great, and I hope we can continue to know each other from here on out. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Eric, I didn't know you till you got on the board, and I too am proud that I now. One of the best things about this board is the people who I have met, and you're one of those persons. So I am proud to call you my friend. I think you have done an amazing job, an outstanding job. Definitely the best dressed out of all of us all the time. I'd always walk in to see what you were wearing. Mm-hmm. So you're definitely going to be missed, and thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Any others? Sorry. Director Jimenez?
Miss Erica, I got to know you on this board, and we bonded over our kids. So I love you. I feel like we'll continue to be friends. I can't wait to work with you on other boards, and I just look forward to that.
Thank you.
Director Salazar?
You're going to be missed. I used to have my list of stuff to ask, and then Erica's like, I'm going to ask that, go ahead. You would always beat me to a lot of the questions. Obviously, I would ask some, but you were always very prepared, as everybody's noted here. And I got to meet you since you became on the board, and you're going to be dearly missed. We always, a lot of them here have said, they have trouble asking those tough questions. You don't. You never. You'd ask me, what about this? Erica, ask it. It's okay. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's like Mando said, sometimes we may disagree with each other on certain items, but we come together as a board, and you were one of those team players that always, at the very end, will talk about something, agree to disagree, and then move forward. And I think we need more of that in our country, where people agree to disagree, but they take it personal, and you shouldn't. You should come out and say, okay, let's move forward. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I just want to say you did a great job. You did a really amazing job in 2 years that you were here. I think the impact that you had on the board and on the staff, I think, especially in a 2-year period, people think, it feels like you've been here like 6-8 years, right? Like this is your 3rd or 4th term, I think. And that's, I think, what we're going to walk away with, knowing, all of the work that you did. And, you know, getting to know you on this board has been a pleasure of mine. You know, I think, you know, so highly of you. And, you know, you know, always like to think, you know, okay, well, I interact with this person and I get to judge this person based on my interactions. But to hear the things that, you know, other people say about you, right? Like, especially your clients that I've had the pleasure of talking to and things like that. The level of respect, the amount of respect that these people have for you is tremendous. You know, you are, you know, listening to them tell me the stories about how you help them and how you see that, and, you know, how you go out of your way to make people's lives better, I think is the thing that I'll take away, and knowing, in the short time that I've known you, is that the amount of respect that other people have for you and for the work that you do. And I think it's, you know, you can see it from the other people's comments here. So it's a pleasure, and I continue to look forward to working with you in whatever capacity that is. And I think because you're, you know, you're an amazing person, and I think you're going to continue to be very successful and do tremendous things for our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's what I'm going to miss about everybody, I guess, just not having more time to get to know everybody at a different level, even though I feel like I know everybody, but it's just that time that I'm not going to get to have to know everybody at another level, not just the board, but all the employees as well. That's what I'm going to miss.
Well, I'm not moving, so hit me up if you want to go to breakfast or something, you know, so it's all good.
Hey, and I like the look. You look nice.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I got rid of the beard, it was a little too itchy. And the fiance doesn't like it either, so yeah.
Oh, is she here?
She will be here August 20th. For those of you who've been watching on Facebook, there's not anything to watch, I'm just joking. But yeah, August 20th, that's the tentative date. So yeah, we'll have to hang out, all of us, we'll get together and you'll get to meet her for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, we also do have to make a motion and a resolution, so, on behalf of you. So, do we have agenda item number 8, adoption resolution? Do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Director Jimenez and a second by Allison on the adoption of the resolution for outgoing City of Corpus Christi appointee, Board Member Erica Mamie. Is there any other questions? Any other? Hearing none. The question is on the adoption of the motion last read, agenda item number 8. All those in favor say yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed
Do they
say
have a choice?
no, they don't. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it, Madam Secretary, motion does pass. We have some, I think, a resolution for you, and maybe some pictures and a gift for you, so we'll do that now. Thank you.
Another presentation. I got to scoot by 10:40, boss.
Yeah, we'll kick it out.
I was on the phone texting David, where are you?
Definitely the best dress.
Hey.
Yeah, Jeremy's here.
Oh, yeah. Me and Amanda are gonna bookend you in all the pictures.
Yeah, take your shoes off.
Thanks,
Now she wears
You already have this one, right? You already did it?
I bring my dually and not give her any parking space. So now I'm driving a little car so she can park her new car. Did you bring your new toy?
No choice. That's all.
Yours caught on fire?
Well, it was stolen and burned. So, yeah. I had a Denali before and I had to scramble to get a new truck in.
Yeah? Oh, you gotta get sworn in, man.
Trying to sign your life away. No, I mean, something like that.
Okay, agenda item number 9, administer the oath of the City of Corpus Christi appointees to the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority Board of Directors. I do believe that is Mr. Bell and myself. Do you need me to go down there, or?
Yes.
Okay.
You could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Amanda Torres,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of board member
the duties of the office of board member
of the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority
of the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority
of the state of
of the
Texas,
state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me
so
God.
help me God.
Thank you.
I want to say congratulations, Mrs. Torres, on joining the board. Also, let the minutes reflect that at 8:52, Director Jeremy Coleman is in attendance. Okay, agenda item number 10A, just 10, awards and recognition. Agenda item, it's 10A, CCRTA new hires. Mr. Majek, it's up to you.
All right. First, I'd like to recognize the new hire that we have this last month, Ruby Casas, who works for our facility maintenance department. So if you would, please come stand up over here so we could recognize you and welcome you to our RTA family. We're proud to have you here and look forward to seeing you for many, many years to come. So I'd like to give you a round of applause, and if you want to say anything.
It's good to be on board, and I hope to be here for the next years to come, and
All right.
I'm excited to come on board.
Welcome to the family. If you could come up, and we'll get a photo of us together. Okay, for the next item, this is dear to my heart from my maintenance background. We have two of our vehicle maintenance employees who are going to be retiring. First, if you could, Caesar, I'll bring you up and so we can recognize you first. Come on, Caesar. Caesar joined the RTA in June of 1986, serving a total of 38 years with the RTA. He's been here for an incredibly long time and has dedicated his career to serving our community. He began his career as a level 1 mechanic, and after many years of education and training, quickly achieved his journeyman status, the highest level a mechanic can have. Caesar has been an excellent example of a dedicated employee and a great role model for many new hires in the maintenance department over decades. Caesar has always been greatly involved in our rodeo events, representing CCRTA at local, state, and national competitions throughout his career. Caesar Garza is a hardworking mechanic and a joyous coworker to be around, and his tales throughout the years have entertained many of his coworkers. His experiences have also helped many mechanics over the decades. Caesar has always put the people and safety first throughout his career, as he learned to inspect, diagnose, and repair electrical, hydraulic, suspension, brake, air systems, and pretty much everything else that's ever been on our bus fleet over the last 40 years. Caesar also served as a lead mechanic, where he managed and worked as part of a team, ensuring that all team members worked safely and efficiently, and never afraid to tackle new jobs and learn new skills throughout his career. Caesar will always be part of the CCRTA family, and he will be deeply missed. We wish him luck in his journey of retirement, but I also hope that he comes back to join us for our rodeos and other festivities in the future. So first, I want to say thank you, Caesar, for spending that much time at any job. You know, you've dedicated your entire life in your career here, and you're part of the legacy of when RTA was created, you know, shortly afterwards, and the founding of what our current maintenance department is. So we all owe you, you know, a sincere thank you for your service, and just congratulations on your retirement. I hope you do enjoy it. So I'll give you applause.
Well, thank you so much. I just glad I was able to work 38 years for the community of Corpus Christi. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Hold on, Caesar. We gotta. We don't take it free in a photograph. Otra vez. Backdrop. Come on in a second. I was coming up and maybe want to go. He was the second to last, the one that actually worked for the city before. Next, we have Gerardo Ramos. So if you could, I know it's a little more difficult, and that you come up so that way we can, they can all see you and recognize you. And your wife can come with you as well up here. Gerardo joined the RTA in December of 2009, serving a total of 15 years. In that time, he established a good working relationship with his fellow mechanics and his supervisors. Gerardo is a very friendly, courteous, and well-liked amongst everyone that he meets on and off the job. In his time with the CCRTA maintenance department, he's always been a self-starter, taking the initiative to be as productive as possible and complete any task assigned to him. Gerardo completed a variety of in-house training and developed many skills during his career at CCRTA by learning on the job. He takes a lot of pride in his work, and his ethics reflect it in his dedication. Gerardo quickly developed many skills, including the ability to rebuild a variety of parts in-house, which provided us with hard-to-stock items during shortages such as the pandemic and other times. He's always been a problem solver and working to seek solutions that help, resolve situations. Gerardo has helped so many of his fellow employees throughout his career and has always set a good example of what we hope to install in all of our future mechanics and service attendants. Gerardo will always be part of the CCRT family as well, and we deeply hope that he enjoys the next chapter in his life, and we welcome you back for many of our future activities like the rodeos and other events. And to add to that, I will say that his wife there was also a CCRTA employee for many years, so they've dedicated a lot of their family's lives to this company, so we all owe them deep gratitude. And so thank you, Gerardo, and I'll give you a chance to say anything that you would like to say.
I just want to say, RTA, thank you, because I got a job on 15 years, and for me, good job to work for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Getting my exercise for the day. Getting my exercise for the day.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Okay, agenda item number 11, you have been provided a copy of the minutes. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I'd like to hear a motion to approve agenda item number 11, a discussion, on the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
We have a motion by Director Jimenez. Do I have a second? Second by Director Canales. Question is adoption of agenda item number 11 on the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Madam Secretary, the ayes have it. The motion does pass. Agenda item number 12, announcements of committee chairs and appointments by the board chair and action to confirm committee chairs and appointments. I think, do they have a copy of it?
Right there.
I mean, do they, the board members have? I don't know if you guys have a copy of the committee appointments.
In their packet.
Okay, she's been here. Okay. I think we're just going to, I am making the recommendation to put Mr. Berlanga on Admin and Finance Committee and Mrs. Amanda Torres, Director on Operations Capital Projects Committee. And again, on Rural and Small Cities, we're looking to appoint, I'm looking to appoint Director David Berlanga, and Legis Committee, which is Lynn Allison's chair, looking to also appoint Amanda Torres. So those are those. Everything else stays the same. Those are the only two people we'll be adding to that. So you have it before you. So now just need a motion to approve those recommendations. We have a motion by Director Allison. I have a second by Coleman. The motion is on the adoption of agenda item number 12 on the action to appoint committee chairs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Madam Secretary, as have it, motion does pass. Presentation of agenda item number 13, presentation on the 2023 annual report for the Coastal Bend Air Quality Partnership. Mr. Saldana and Mrs. Murphy, that's your turn. You have 10 minutes.
All right, so I'm really quick this morning here. We have this Chairman Mandy Murphy here today. She's going to go over the 2023 Coastal Bend Air Quality Report.
Thank you, Mrs. Danya, and thank you, committee, for having me today. I feel like I was just here, and wow, what a wonderful time to be here with all the acknowledgments of your retirements and appointments. I'm so touched. I'm grateful to be here. I'm going to go over a few things that probably most of you have already known, but you do have some new board members, so I'll tell you a little bit about our organization. I am Sharon Bailey Murphy. I'm the Executive Director of the Coastal Bend Air Quality Partnership. We have been in existence as the Corpus Christi Air Quality Group for over 30 years, almost 30 years, in 1995, and CCRTA has been a part of that, and so we are so grateful to have you as part of our partnership. Next, and I call our presentation today Community Collaboration in Addressing Air Pollution in the Corpus Christi Urban Airshed, because truly it has been a community collaboration. And when EPA and TCEQ are addressed and asked what can other communities do to improve their air quality and how can they work together, they point to the Corpus Christi Urban Airshed, our airshed of San Pat in Nueces County, and as an example. So we are a benchmark for both TCEQ and EPA, and we're really, really pleased with that. And it's partly to a lot that you have done as the RTA. And so we were so appreciative of you being a part of the partnership. Next slide, please. Oh, am I supposed to be turning? Sorry. There we go. Oh, okay. So our mission is to protect the Coastal Bend's air quality and then to inspire all emission sources, whether or not they are regulated or not, to do things above compliance, above the things that we normally do, just to make sure that our air stays in attainment and that it's healthy for all of our citizens. We believe that with our leadership and with the leadership of our organizational partners, such as the RTA, that we can make sure that for the future to come and in generations to come, that we have clean air for our airshed. So again, thank you for being a part. I am doing the wrong way. Okay, and so I mentioned that it was a collaboration that we started in 1995 as the Corpus Christi Air Quality Group. In 2022, we became a 501c3, installing our first executive director, which is myself, and actually formalizing the group to a 501c3, where we have an organization now that we are putting together strategic maintenance of our NACs, both all 6 criteria air pollutants, that is ozone, that is carbon dioxide, that is nitrogen oxide, that's sulfur oxides, and your PM 2.5 and PM 10. And so we are glad to continue, and also lead, and we're glad to continue this journey with you, both for San Pat and Nueces County. Again, here's our airshed. As you see, it's huge, huge airshed. We know that the air interacts between all of the emissions from both Nueces and San Pat counties. Air doesn't say, I just belong to Nueces County, I just belong to San Pat, but it's the impacts to the air entirely that impacts us. Not only just Nueces County and San Pat counties, but we're surrounded by Clayburgh County, we're surrounded by Victoria County. And so the air really, really interacts, but EPA has designated our airshed as Nueces County and San Pat counties. And so, like I mentioned, it's been over 29 years. In July 2025, it will be 30 years that we've been doing this. RTA is aware of this, our partners are aware of this, MPO, the counties, both Nueces and San Pat counties, the cities of Portland, city of Corpus Christi, the military, the media, academia, all have been working together, sort of kind of under the radar. The public has not really known who we are, and so what we've worked the last 2 years is to really get out there and let the public know what we've been doing to make sure that our air stays in attainment of national ambient air quality standards, and then what they can do to join us, because it is not just the permitted people that are impacting the air, but it's every person who is taking a car, every person who is mowing their lawn, every person who has a marine vessel, every person that takes an airplane. All of these things impact our air, and so we all need to do our part in making sure our air quality stays in attainment. And so if you look at our 23 results, and many of you have seen this before, but this includes 2023, we are in attainment. The NACs, the green line is the NACs for EPA, which is the ozone standard. It is currently 80 parts per billion, and we are pretty much at about 60, 65, 62. They are looking at the CASAC, which is the Clean Air Community Scientific Advisory Committee, is looking at the standard. They are required by EPA, the federal standards, to review the NAAQS every 5 years. They're currently reviewing the NAAQS for ozone the last 5 years. In 2020, they were looking at lowering it to 60, maybe 65. It is said when we look at the monitors all nationwide that if they go to 60 or 65, that almost the entire nation will be out of attainment. We know by what happens in Dallas, and now San Antonio also has joined non-attainment in Houston, what it will do to our community if we go out of attainment. Operations for our permitted facilities, including our buses, our RTA, our community, even our citizens will be impacted if the ozone standard is lowered. And so we work very diligently with our partners to make sure that we understand what we can do to make sure that we're still continuing to lower our impacts, and also what we can do to make sure that the standard is lowered based or looked at and revised based on scientific evidence. Back this year in February, the EPA also looked at revising the PM 2.5. PM 2.5 is your particulates. Your particulates come from smoke, they come from dust. We live here on the coast, and so we've got our sea mist because we're so hot, we've got continual evaporation of the sea, of the Gulf, and both the bays, and there is salt particles with that, and so you see a haze over the sea. We also have wildfires all around us. We have agricultural burning from Mexico, from the Yucatan, and then we get that once a year Saharan dust. And there are very few things that we can do about any of those. However, if you look at what our design values for 2023 are, 86 and 84, for the two monitors, and they are talking about putting, at the end of this year, a monitor in Sandpat as well, we are real close to that 9.0, which it was lowered to. We're in talks with TCEQ and EPA right now as far as what are the things that we are supposed to do if we go out of attainment for the PM 2.5, since it's exceptional events such as the Saharan dust, such as wildfires. And so we're in talks with them to make sure that that when they look at whether or not we are in attainment, and this again is just the 2023 design value, they will designate whether or not our community is in attainment in 2026. And so they won't be using this design value. And so it's really, really important that we still make sure the next coming years that we are lowering our PM 2.5 and doing everything that we can. It's going to impact your smoke houses. It's going to impact everything that's wood burning, your fireplaces, your generators, everything it's going to impact. And so we really have to be very diligent in watching what EPA is going to designate us as attainment or non-attainment. The thing that you don't see on this slide is the Padre Island National Seashore Monitor. TCEQ considers that our monitor, our PM 2.5, and that one is out of attainment right now by 23 standards. They are currently putting that in Clayburgh County, but TCEQ and some of the information that we're getting is that EPA will include that with our monitors as well, and our design values as where we're working with them, trying to make sure that, because right there on the seashore, what do you have? Sand. So we're really in talks with EPA, TCEQ, to make sure that we have a defense for what they're going to, whether they're going to put us in attainment or not, a non-attainment or not. Right now, and I hope some of you have already attended some of our open houses, we worked diligently in 2023, meeting every single month with 10 work groups, designing and drafting a community air action plan. It's the first ever for our community, the Coastal Bend Community Air Action Plan. We had planned for 3 open houses in Nueces County, which we've completed our last one last month, and then 3 in Sandpat County. We've got one Sandpat County, the 5th one coming up next month, next week on the 16th. And so we hope you can be there because, again, our air shade is both Nueces and Sandpat County, and we want to give the community ample opportunity to come and comment on the work plan and then input what they feel that they can do, and then what all of the work groups could do to improve our air quality. And so in 2025, we will look at implementing all the objectives that the work groups have had. If you see our timeline, we're very much on our timeline, right in the middle of our open houses. In September and November, we will finalize our CBAQP and the CCAP, it's the Coastal Bend Community Air Action Plan, and approve it. And then in 2025, we will look at implementing. On our implementation plan, we've got several grants. We just sent a letter of support for RTA grant that you guys just put in, and those are part of the things that we do as far as our objectives in improving our air quality. These are our work groups. We had an academia work group, which consists of our schools, our school districts, our universities, not only what they can do as far as their organizations, what the universities can do, what Del Mar can do, what the schools can do, but also projects. They're doing a lot of research. Most of these work groups, everybody wanted additional monitors. We know that monitors are very, very expensive. The current monitors that we have, which are TCEQ monitors, are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so we're looking at grants to get that, being support, being subcontractors. Construction and ag, very, very important work group. I live in Mathis, and coming down 37 every day, seeing the farmers plowing up the plow. What do you tell them? What do you tell them? Because it's dry. And so what are the best management practices for construction? What are the best management practices for agriculture? The environmental work group, looking at things that impact the outside environment. Industry work group, industry has worked diligently for the last 30 years on the things that they can do above compliance, and that has helped to keep us in compliance with the National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Port operations, public health, public policy is very, very important. Our public policy work group is staffed by people who are in positions in government that can put in policies for their organizations. We are looking at people who can do things for their sphere of influence. So for instance, public policy, well, they can say what some of the things that they have is anti-idling policies for their work groups, for their buildings, for their facilities that they can do to put in public policy, because we know that no matter how many objectives that all these people have, if there are not policies behind them, then they have no teeth. And so they are a very, very important part of our work group. Tourism and recreation, that's our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is our tourists and our recreators. And so what can they do and what can we do to make sure that there are objectives that address this group? And then the transportation work group is all of you guys here, the things that we can do. And we know that that's a big, big push for transportation as far as PM and ozone, because ozone, the precursors for PM 2.5 are very similar, if not exactly the same precursors for ozone, which are your NOx and your SOx and your VOCs. An additional is ammonia. They're going to be looking at ammonia as far as is it a precursor for PM 2.5. And so the transportation work group, that's why we're so glad that you guys continue to pursue grants and that we can support you by giving you letters of support like we always do. So continue to have them come in, and if there's anything we can do, a lot of the people who are putting forth grants now are asking us to come in and help them with education and outreach. And so if there's anything that this group can do for you beyond just letters of support, then please contact us. We have had our open houses. The next one, you'll see the checkoffs where we've had these open houses. We're really, really pleased. We've tried to make it so that it's convenient for the public to come. We don't want to enter into the after work time so much that they are losing the time with their families. So we've done things to try to put it right in the middle of between the people who can come from their jobs and the people who can come immediately after a job. We're serving dinner, we've got door prizes, we have Kids Zone, doing everything we can to make sure that the community comes out. So our next open house, and you should have a list of our Community Air Action Plan open houses, will be this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday at the San Patricio County Fairground. Please come out, anybody that you know in those areas, because that particular open house is trying to target Taft and Gregory and Ingleside and Portland and Sinton. The one in Rensselaer passes Ingleside on a bay in that area, part of San Pat County. So if you can't make the one on Tuesday, please come in on the 14th. Tell all your friends, tell all your relatives. Come and look at it, the transportation work group with your transportation hat on, but the other ones, take it off and just look at it as a citizen. What would I like to see? Please come and be a part of us. We would really, we'd love to have you. We'll have you come and address and greet our audience, greet our participants. We really, really love for you to come. The work groups have worked very, very hard. Like I said, they met every single month for 12 months in the year of 2023, putting together this plan. So come and see the plan that they've put together and all the objectives that they have. Our accomplishments for 2023, again, we remained in attainment of all 6 criteria air pollutants. We met monthly drafting this first ever Coastal Bend Air Quality Partnership, and then we have been having our open houses in both San Pat and Nueces County, also submitting for subcontract and being parts of grants that both the university and RTA and others have submitted, being a part of that. And so we're really, really pleased with being a part of the solution and not so much part of the problem. 2025 goals is, again, doing the implementation of the Coastal Bend Air Quality Community Air Action Plan, making sure that we're getting education outreach out to the public, helping them to understand how they're part of the solution and they're part of the emissions, expanding the auto check program. I know RTA participates in the auto check program, that's Trent Thigpen out of the university, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, where they come and they will check your fleets and see if they're emitting. If it's a personal car, and they do this at events, shows all around town, if your personal car is emitting, they can give you up to a $600 voucher to get your car fixed, and that's for the whole entire community. They also can come and check your fleets. Now, they can't give you money to fix your fleets, but at least you'll know what of your fleets, what of your buses are emitting, and that will give you a heads up for where you need to do some maintenance on. Looking at idle-free school zones, doing a pilot, the kids, when they're subjected to, in the neighborhoods around these schools, standing out there waiting for their parents, that long line of parents just idling. What's the impact on our children? What can we do? Can we have drop-off zones? That's very, very challenging because it's really hot. What do you tell parents? Turn off your car, turn off your air conditioner? No, we can't. So we're looking at what's the best way when it's raining, when it's cold. A lot of school zones have put this pilot into action. It includes the students doing all the math, doing all the science behind it, take it pre and post testing, meaning that you're going to put monitors out there before school starts, before the cars are there, and then what's happening during the cars. And hopefully that'll change behavior. That's the biggest thing, is changing behavior when it comes to air pollution. When it comes to most things, isn't it? It's changing behavior and changing people's mindset. Changing the mindset of our community is like, we like our trucks, we like our cars, we don't want to take the bus, we want to be able to come and go as we please, but starting to help the community see what the impacts are with all of us, 4 people in a house, going to the same place every Sunday morning. That's my spiel for every time I do this presentation, is on any given Sunday. And on any given Sunday basically puts you in mind of football. But what I say, on any given Sunday, you have 4 people who live in a house. You have a mom and a dad, a brother and a sister, and they all go to the same places of worship, and they all drive their own cars. And if mom goes at a certain time because she does praise and worship, so she has to be there at a certain time. Sister does nursery, so she has to be at a certain time, so she goes by herself. Dad only wants to hear the preaching. He doesn't want to hear praise and worship, so he comes at a certain time. And then the brother, he only gets there when his boys are there, so he's driving. And they're all leaving from the same place, going to the same place. How do you change that mindset? How do you encourage people to take public transportation? It's a catch-22. You can't improve public transportation if you don't have the ridership, and you can't have the ridership if people say, well, I need to go here, I need to go there, I need to be there, I need to be there at a certain time. So it's a very big challenge, but those are the things that we are trying to address in our education and outreach. Additional monitors, like I said, every single work group wanted additional monitors. And then the next to the last 2 are really, really important, which is fingerprinting the NOx and the PM 2.5. We have Dr. Sullivan in San Pat and Dr. Felix in Nueces County, who are both working on fingerprinting NOx and PM 2.5, meaning they can determine exactly where the NOx is coming from, that we're not spinning our wheels and focusing on something that really isn't the issue in our airshed. NOx comes from lightning. Who knew that NOx comes from lightning? NOx comes from water when it rains and you've put fertilizer on your ground and it rains, and so you're releasing nitrogen oxides. So looking at the PM 2.5, that's going to be our saving grace, is recognizing and identifying the PM 2.5, that it is Saharan dust, that it is from a wildfire that's happening in another state, that it's transport, that it is from agricultural burning from the Yucatan, from Central America, South America, and Mexico. Proving that will help TCEQ and EPA say, hey, there's nothing that they can do about it. And so we're working on that already, and then modeling the PM 2.5, where exactly is it coming from? How the wind direction impacts the 2.5, the PM 2.5. Those are things that we're working on for 2025. That is my presentation to you, all the work that we've done from the last time I came here to present to you. Hopefully those who you didn't even know that we existed now have a little bit more knowledge. If someone asks you, what does the Coastal Bend Air Quality Partnership do? You will have an answer for them. If you don't, I can give you a cheat sheet if you want. Do you have any questions for me?
Do you have any questions from the board?
Thank you for your enthusiasm, Ms. Murphy. I appreciate that very much. I just want to ask Derek and staff to make sure we get a letter of recommendation and support from Ms. Murphy, because we do have a clean air initiative and our proposed bill for the Texas legislature. So if we can just make sure that's included in our packet.
Certainly.
Absolutely. We reach out to them on many of our grant applications, and they've always been really supportive of us with everything.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
And the last thing I don't want to forget is this windmill. Now, it looks like a pinwheel. It may be for children. We had this at Earth Day, May Day, and it was for the children. The adults were running over the children trying to get these pinwheels. One, they're nostalgic, they remind me of my childhood. But what they said is that they put them in their gardens and it keeps away rodents and vermin and stuff in their gardens. So I didn't know that. But this is our calling card now, is the pinwheel. So it's run by wind. There's natural occurring wind that happens. If you put this out, take it outside on the baby, it's just going to spin by itself. And it doesn't spin by itself, you have to blow it. And that's the same with air pollution and air impacts, is that there are some that's naturally occurring and some of it we're doing too as well. So this is our calling card. So please put them in your gardens. I want to go around town and see these are all around. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Okay, agenda item number 14. I do believe that's discussion of possible action to amend the approved legislative program for the 89th legislature. I want to bring that up now, so I'd like to hear a motion to discuss that. We have a motion by Director Coleman, a second by Director Allison. Okay, Mr. Majak and Mr. Bell, I think that's going to be y'all too.
Yes, can you bring the presentation up? There we go. Okay, from background, over the past year, the legislative committee and staff have been working with the legislative delegation and our legislative consultants in development of our legislative initiative for 2023, 2024, and then moving on into 2025. At the June 12th, 2024 board meeting, the board reviewed and approved the proposed legislative initiatives. After further review, minor edits have been made to help clarify verbiage, and we listed the items in priority. And some of this has been done as Secretary Allison and our board chair and I have started to meet with some of our local officials who have, given us some feedback of some things we could do to clarify. So, a little bit for the benefit of Director Torres, who's new, we'll kind of read through these, and then I will say Mr. Bell helped us draft all these so he can answer a lot of further questions or give you history if needs be on there. The first is our Fair Approval Committee bill, which moves the CCRTA from the Fair Approval Committee provisions in a population bracket with San Antonio to the provisions for a fair review utilizing the MPO in a population bracket with Austin. A separate committee appointed by the City Council, County Commissioners, and small city mayors would not be required to take action, but the CCRTA would submit its fares for review to the policy board of the MPO, and the new fares would go into effect 60 days later in the absence of any disapproval. And then we have our CNG motor fuel exemption bill, which would permit all transit authorities to maintain the CNG fuel tax exemption and use their refueling facilities to refuel motor vehicles exempt under other provisions of the code during emergencies or other exigent circumstances pursuant to interlocal agreements. The term limit bill, and this is where we actually did make a change to the verbiage. There's two different versions. One option would be of general applicability to the Corpus Christi, Austin, and Houston transit authorities, and the second version is a bracket only applicable to Corpus Christi. The bills would exclude from counting against the 8-year limit based upon 4 2-year terms, an initial appointment to an unexpired term, and a shortened term due to being appointed as board chair. The exceptions are narrowly drawn to address the two issues faced in the Corpus Christi without creating other scenarios in which the exceptions could be exploited. And then the broker of record bill, which tracks the language approved for large counties in 2005 and expanded to include all counties in 2011. Provides for the selection of a broker of record who only would receive compensation on a fee basis from the CCRTA and from no other source, no commissions on insurance policies procured. The broker would solicit proposals for coverages for all areas of risks, liability, casualty, workers' compensation, and stop-loss coverage for the self-funded health care. And then the next one, on our last one in our primary initiatives, is to put all these together into a combination bill as well. So that I'll take any questions, or if you would like any clarification, Director Torres, on any of that, myself or Mr. Bell can provide that.
Mr. Coleman, your motion, do you have any questions on it first? No, sir. Okay, any other questions?
I just had a comment. Maybe we could
Director
just call it a typo without an amendment, but shouldn't it be 2023 to 2025, or even 2024 to 2025?
That's why I mentioned that.
I want to go back and reshuffle, but just maybe call that a little typo.
That's why I mentioned the 2025
Okay.
in there, so it should include that as well.
Okay, perfect.
I have a question about I guess it's related to the broker paragraph. And when it says that this broker would receive compensation on a fee basis, what type of fee basis? Is that like a percentage? Is it hourly? Is it an employee? What does that mean?
Well, the existing state law applicable to other governmental entities simply prohibits the broker from being compensated both by the insurance company and the public entity. It can only be compensated by the public entity. But that can be negotiated any way that the public entity elects. If it's going to be on a percentage or a flat fee, that's negotiable.
But that hasn't been decided yet then?
Correct.
Okay.
The issue that comes across is right now, public transit agencies are prevented from being able to have a broker of record for insurance purposes like this. Right, we have to go out through a traditional RFP process, which has been problematic the last few years with the windstorm insurances.
Okay.
And other municipalities are able to do that, so we're just trying to, just
Fall in
make,
line.
yeah, that's correct. Any other questions? Hearing none, the question is the adoption of agenda item number 14, discuss and possible action to amend the approved legislative program for the 89th legislature. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Madam Secretary, ayes have it. The motion does pass. Agenda item number 15, discussion of possible action to authorize the CEO or the designee to execute a 3-year contract for internet and fiber data communications with the Texas Department of Information Resources. Do we have any problems with our internet yesterday?
We have backups.
Okay, there you go. Let's have, we'll bring that up now, so let's have a motion and to discuss that. You have a motion? Agenda item number 15?
So moved.
Second. That's Mr. Munoz. So on the second is, you had the second? Coleman? Director Coleman? Okay, you're up.
All right, Robert Solani, Managing Director of Administration. So this lines up with the board priority of innovation. So currently we have 2 different internet services here. We have our Spectrum is what we're looking to renew. Our current one, where Spectrum was procured by the Texas Department of Information Resources at DIR, and it was a 3-year contract. Now, these services provide a wide area network as well as a local area network. It supports our email system, our public Wi-Fi from both the buildings and buses, our bus AVL system, the automatic vehicle location system, as well as our customer service support through our phone lines and internet. So as we continue to move more and more into the cloud, we have a little concerns about being able to support that system with the current internet system, so we're looking to expand on it. Some of the future needs that we did take a look at is the increased usage to the cloud. We are moving more and more of our systems. We went from some of our software for finance and other departments into the cloud. We're able to work from home. This hurricane, we had a couple of meetings, or several meetings from home as people were off over the weekend. And we start our telecommunications. We increase our potential for scalability and our customer service center, both with the internet and our telephone lines. So our current speed is 1 gig. It provides fast downloads and uploads for our public Wi-Fi. It helps support our off-site backup system, and here our communication with the backup system, as well as our bus AVL system. Now, our current metro, which is for the whole city of Corpus Christi in our service area here, we have a 5 gig, and it's supported by a fiber line which connects in there and then expands to like a wire mesh system. The financial impact, we were looking to purchase it off of Texas Department of Information Resources, which is essentially is a co-op, which will leverage the purchasing power from governmental agencies to ensure that we get the best pricing on our products and services. Spectrum Enterprises will provide the internet and fiber data lines. The cost for a 3-year contract is $221,267, or about $73,756 a year for those 3 years. So at this time, staff requests the board authorize the chief executive officer designee to execute a 3-year contract for internet and fiber data communications for the Texas Department of Information Resources. And I will take whatever questions you may have.
Any questions? So we have a motion and a second by Director Munoz and Director Coleman. All those in favor on item 15? What's that?
Yeah, I don't think we don't have a motion in a second.
Then I'll move to
Get a
approve.
motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
I gotcha.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, moving on to item 16, discussion and possible action to authorize the chief executive officer or CEO or designee to approve the awarded projects for CCRTA Section 5310, 2024 call for projects for fiscal year 2022, 2023.
All right, so this lines up with the board priority of public image and transparency. So the goal of the 5010 project is to assist nonprofit groups for meeting transportation needs for seniors and individuals with disabilities. This is a Federal Transit Administration Formula Funds grant, which is 5310. It's awarded to the city of Corpus Christi, and then we typically will have eligible subrecipients. So we do a call for projects and we award those monies to the subrecipients. So we usually do this in 2-year increments. In 2022, we're using the formula 5310 monies, which is $329,862. And 2023's monies is $420,195 for a total of $750,057. On May 6th, we issued a call for projects, which is kind of this version of an RFP to some degree. We received the applications all by 3 p.m. on the 20th. We received 4 applications by 2 different entities, 2 from the Coastal Bend Center of Independent Living, CIPSL, and 2 from Rural Economic Assistance League Incorporated, which is REAL. All 4 applications met the criteria, and we evaluated all 4 applications. So here is the scoring and the 4 different applications that came in here. The 2 for REAL was IMAP 3 for $588,548. Now, this is more for all the behind-the-scenes things to support the delivery of service, salaries, safety, security, equipment that goes on the buses and what have you. Access 2 is the actual delivery of service for $558,438. CIPSL's purchase of service is just that, the delivery of service, $375,000, and the mobility management is the salaries and all that support the delivery of these services at $235,000. You can see the overall scoring. Now, this is not like a traditional RFP where we're comparing them against each other. We're just comparing these to the criteria of the program itself. We had, like all grants that come out, we have the projects that come in, request of $1,756,986, and we only had $750,057 to divvy out between those. So we had a 5-member committee, and we analyzed and reviewed all these proposals, and this is our recommendation on how we should break up the money. If you take a look at REAL's Access 2, again, delivery service, we took a priority of getting the service delivered out, whether it's REAL or CIPSL. So REAL's $588,000. We are looking to award $279,219 at a 50% share, and REAL's local match would bring it up to $588,000, a little more than what they asked for just because of the local match. And the local match will be provided by TDC's, the Transportation Development Credits. So really, it's basically a credit that the state of Texas gives out, where they don't have to have the cash outlay on their own. Now, this is all a reimbursement basis. The other one that we're looking to fund 100% of is the SIPSEL's purchase of service. Again, that's a delivery of service. $300,000 from the grant, which is the 80-20 part of the grant there. The $75,000 will be from the TDC, so they'll be funded 100% of that, at least our recommendation of that $375,000 for delivery of service. When you go back to the IMAP 3, we're looking to fund $170,838. They have 10 Q-straint models that they want to put in their bus, and that's a Q-straint is what you do to secure the wheelchair in there, and that's what we use on our buses to secure wheelchairs. So we felt the safety part of it was very important for us, and with the money that we have left over, the $170,838, we want to use that so that they can secure their buses and the passenger properly. The last part on SIPSEL, there was not any money to fund that, but they do have monies from 2021 that are waiting for TDCs to be approved from the state of Texas still, and that's going to fund that program itself anyway. So right now we're looking to divvy out the monies in that manner, the $750,057 between those 4 projects. Here's kind of the criteria that we looked at, the project needs. We scored 20 points maximum for that. Project planning and implementation to make sure that they had a good program in place, 20 points on that. The effectiveness of the program and how well they delivered the last programs that they had, 20 points. Their organizational preparedness and technical capacity to execute the program, up to 25 points. And then their budget and their grant management, so making sure that they were able to account for that local match, the 15-point max. This time, staff requests the Board of Directors to authorize the Chief Executive Officer designee to approve the awarded projects for the CCRTA Section 5310 2024 call for projects for federal fiscal year 2022 through 2023. And I will take whatever questions you may have.
Do you have any questions?
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a typo on this page 18 I'm looking at.
Yeah, Director Chado, I believe, caught that. We're
Okay.
funding more than what they asked for, but because of their local match, it went up 30,000 more in there.
Okay, so, because I was looking at the
Yes, ma'am.
numbers. Okay, thank you.
It's not good if your finance person
So
can't add.
which one are we approving? What number are we approving?
We are approving the 3 projects, and they're the $750,000, $750,057.
Okay.
And that's all federal money. The rest of the money will come from TDCs.
Thank
to go up to $1.1 million and change.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion on this already yet?
So move.
Okay. Is that Chado? Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Director Jimenez? Any other questions, your motion? Any other questions? Hearing none. Call for the question on the adoption is on the discussion of possible action to authorize the CEO or designee to approve the awarded projects for CCRTA Section 5310 2024. Call for projects to FFY 2022-23. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Madam Secretary, motion does pass. Agenda item number 17, discussion and possible action to authorize the CEO or designee to authorize a 60-month lease with Corpus Christi, Texas. Caregiving, LLC, DBA Cornerstone Caregiving for lease space at the Staples Street Center Building. Ms. Montes, you're up.
Thank you, sir. And good morning, everyone. Sharon Montes, Managing Director of Capital Programs and Customer Service, and welcome, Director Torres. This item aligns with the board priorities for facilities and public image. Currently, there is a vacant lease space on our second floor in this building. It consists of approximately 700 square feet and or 1,700 square feet. And the suite contains 5 offices, a conference room, a break room, and a small lobby. Our leasing agent, Wade Spence, was recently contacted by Cornerstone Giving to view the space. They liked it, and they decided they would like to lease it. The company provides senior care in the community, Cornerstone office services in 140-plus locations across 30 states. They are an in-home care service for senior individuals. Allows the seniors to stay in their home. The company's been in business about 20 years, The initial lease term will run from August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2029. There is an option year, 5-year period, and it would run from August 1st, 2029 through July 31st, 2034. There is no DBE participation in this. This is a revenue contract. The estimated lease revenue for the first year is $29,563, and the estimated total for the 60 months is $156,944. Therefore, staff requests the Board of Directors authorize the CEO or designee to authorize a 60-month lease with Corpus Christi, Texas Caregiving, LLC, DBA, Cornerstone Caregiving for lease space at the Staples Street Center building. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation, sir.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have one.
Mr. Director Salazar?
On the extension, the extra, is it another 5-year extension?
Yes, sir.
Do we have something in the contract that explains what that rate would be or the adjustments for market value? Or how is that going to be established?
So,
Yeah, it's at a market rate, and so if they're interested, the lease provides that they give us notice, and then we quote them the market rate, and they have the option to take it at that rate.
Okay, so we would still quote it based on the market rate at the time of the renewal.
bless you.
Thank you.
Excuse me? I didn't hear.
Sorry.
It would be on the renewal,
For the 5-year renewal, it would be at a market rate that
Okay.
we would determine.
it wouldn't be a set rate then?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
That's all I have.
Any other questions? Have a motion to approve agenda item number 17.
So moved.
Director Salazar, do you have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Canales. Okay, we have a motion and we do have a second on agenda item number 17, discuss possible action. Do I have, okay, we do have motion second. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion does carry, Madam Secretary. Agenda item number 18, discuss possible action to adopt a resolution to support the strengthening of the mobility, revolutionizing transportation, smart grants program, funding opportunity. Let's just bring that motion out. Do you have a motion on that?
So moved?
Do I have a motion by Secretary Allison? Do I have a second?
Got it.
Director Chotto. Okay, you're up.
Good morning. Rita Patrick, Managing Director of Public Relations. I come to you to request a resolution to apply for the Strengthening Mobility and Revolutionizing Transportation, known as the SMART Grant, the Stage 1 planning opportunity. The board priority is safety and security and financial transparency. This is a competitive grant. The SMART Grant was developed to provide technology and systems to improve transit efficiency and safety. There's $100 million annually provided by the government, and we are, this is the last opportunity for a Stage 1 application, and the application deadline is July 12th. If we do get a Stage 1 application grant, we can therefore go to the Stage 2. We request funds to retrofit, a pilot program to retrofit 35-foot buses with the camera system equipped with collision avoidance technology. This technology would be used to reduce traffic-related fatalities and injuries. We're requesting $380,000 at this time for the 30 buses. It's 100% funded by DOT. The funds would be used to retrofit the 30 buses, train the employees, software subscription, and freight cost. It will take about 10 to 14 months to complete the process once it's awarded based on the procurement, training, and purchase. Therefore, the staff requests the Board of Directors adopt a resolution to support the SMART Grant funding opportunity by authorizing the CEO or designee to execute and submit an application. Like I said, I'm not sure if I said that, but it's due July 12th, which is Friday.
She works well under pressure.
I have a question. How long is the subscription for?
I believe they're annual subscriptions.
What is the actual amount for just the subscription?
I don't have it with me, but I can get that information for you.
And the subscription isn't necessary for it to function, but it has a telemetrics data, so technically MPO or anybody else could see exactly how many pedestrians were at an intersection just because that bus drives past it and its camera sees all those people there, or how many people were walking across this part of the road every single day. So it would be a pilot phase. Part of this, we scaled down from what the original board memo had because after talking with DOT, they said that you can't ask for it all at once. This is meant to be a stage one. We give you some money, maybe, and if you get that, then we'll move you on to stage two where you can ask for the rest of the money to continue on the project past the pilot stage.
What was that word you used? Telemetro?
Telemetrics.
Telemetrics. I got to write that in my notes.
Part of the grant, part of the award we would share our data and information, and research can be done with that, with MPO and Texas A&M University.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Not a question, but I think that, I just wanted to say, I think Rita and I saw that, I think maybe in Seattle or somewhere at one of the booths. It was really an interesting way, the way it worked, and we talked about it and said this would be great because it would help out our drivers and everything a lot.
If you recall, I came to you several months ago and asked for this same grant or same type of product through the Attain grant. We have yet to hear back from that grant if we've received any money, or they have not awarded any. It doesn't have a deadline, so we decided to go forward with this, with the SMART grant.
Any other questions? Hearing none, the question is on the adoption of the motion that was just read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Motion passes, Madam Secretary. We are on agenda item number 19, discuss and possible action to authorize the CEO or designated excise option year 1 to Bridgestone American Tire Operations, LLC for bus tire leasing and service contracts number 2021 SP-4. Let's bring that up now. Do you have a motion to discuss that?
So moved.
Go with Director Jimenez, second with, was that Chano? Okay, you're up.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Welcome, Director Torres. To start off today, I'm going to say a joke here. So, okay.
Pretty good one. This is our first time.
And just so you know, this will be from here on in.
Hopefully.
Welcome to the world.
So after church one Sunday, a churchgoer goes up to the priest and he says, "Father, is it a sin to play golf on Sundays?" The priest puts his hand on the man and he says, "Son, I've seen your golf game. It's a sin any day." Okay. My name is Gordon Robinson, Managing Director of Operations, and I'd like to tell some jokes here and there. Today's board priority is public image and transparency. And today we're going to talk about tires. This is really where the rubber hits the road. So currently we have our tire leasing and services contract with Bridgestone America's Tire Operations, LLC. And that was approved by the Operations and Capital Projects Committee back on May 26, 2021, and then the Board of Directors on June 2nd of 2021. It's a 3-year base contract. Currently, we're in the 3rd year right now, and it has 2 one-year options. It's a turnkey service, meaning that a trained specialist is on site over at Bear Lane in the maintenance shop, doing the work on the tires, mounting, environmental disposal, maintaining the inventory, checking the tread depths, basically everything you can think of in terms of our tires and our buses. It's also a reduced capital investment for us because this all comes as a package. Spares are available at no cost as well, and the usage is only based on the cost, meaning if a tire is damaged or needs repair, that's at the time that the costs are expended. And again, the oversight is by a tire technician that's been certified by the company. In terms of identified need, the tire leasing service is required to maintain the fleet's tires, of course. We have 6 tires in each of our units. This is for the large bus fleet. Again, I mentioned it's a 3-year base contract that expires this August, on August 14, 2024. Here before the board to get approval to issue a contract modification to exercise option year 1, and that term would be from August 15, 2024 through August 14, 2025. In terms of DBE, there is no DBE requirement for this procurement. Originally, Bridgestone did reach out, but there was no interest at the time. For financial impact, the estimated projected cost, and again, this is based on usage, is $157,569.62. Funds are budgeted in the annual operating budgets each year, of course, and it includes tire leasing services for up to 420 tires and full-time tire specialists on site. The recommendation for the board is for the board to consider authorizing the chief executive officer or designee to exercise option year 1 to Bridgestone Tires or Bridgestone America's Tire Operations LLC for a bus tire leasing and service contract number 2021-SP-04.
All right,
I
Madam.
can answer any questions.
I'll say, Madam Chair Jimenez, that's your motion. Do you have any questions on it?
No, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Question?
I apologize.
No apologies.
So this is an option you're seeking to extend, so this is an existing contract and you want to exert the option period. And I see that you've got one alternative. You said CCRTA staff look to doing this in-house, but it's not cost-effective or efficient. Did you guys look at any other options within the commercial market?
Well, this was originally as a formal solicitation, so at that time, back in 2021, we would have, of course, reached out to all the commercial providers as well. Based on the bids received, Bridgestone was the selected vendor.
Okay, so, but, I mean, since you're seeking to extend the option, the contract expires in August 14th. Did you guys look at anybody else outside of the option?
We looked at the current pricing per tire right now, and Bridgestone still is the lowest, so we
Okay.
did do that due diligence. So we know that we're in a good spot right now with Bridgestone.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, questions on the adoption of the motion just read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it, Madam Secretary, and the motion does pass. Presentation, agenda item number 20, presentation on Porter's transfer station restrooms options. Ms. Montes, there you are, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Roll it.
Baby.
Yeah, well.
This item aligns with board priorities for facilities and public image. So as part of this overall project, the CCRTA was a competitive grant for approximately $7.2 million back in 2019. The grant covered 3 different projects, the two new Del Mar Oso Creek super stops, the parking lot improvements at Bear Lane, and Port Airs. The Port Airs station was awarded to Marshall Company for $6.1 million. The completed project came in right at budget. Therefore, the restrooms will be postponed and included in the capital budget for 2025 as we go through our budgeting process. We did want to go ahead and update the board, though, on the research we've done so far. Pricing appears to range from $162,000 for a basic ADA model to $385,000 for a smart restroom. The smart restrooms come equipped with automatic cleaning cycles, extended warranties, some up to 10 years, UV lighting to minimize drug use, a notification system when in use, remote control access so that you can control the schedule from your phone and so forth and set the parameters as to when it will open. Some of them come with timing features which allow for 20 minutes of occupancy, and at 15 minutes it will notify you that it will be set to open in like another 5 minutes. So different degrees of features. So we're currently working on identifying infrastructure costs, such as running utilities and so forth, as well as installation costs. along with the short-term costs and the long-term operating cost of the maintenance for these facilities. Here are some pictures of some basic styles. They are gender neutral, if you will, and they are ADA compliant. The higher-end models, the ones that basically come with the remote access, the self-cleaning features, the timers, look something similar to this. Again, as we're going through our budgeting process, we're finalizing the estimates. Those cost elements will come back to the board through the budgeting process for the board to decide and provide more input at that point.
And I just wanted to add at the beginning, we're wanting to give a board the update because I know myself and many of you have been contacted from various different, political entities and officials throughout our region. So I just wanted to show the board that we are working on a proposal, and it'll be in the budget request, and at that point, obviously, it'll be point of discussion between the board whether it's something that they, want to see us move forward with, or if it's something that they do not want us to see move forward with. But we will continue collecting the data. That way we can show you all the costs, and that as we get closer to showing you the capital project budget for 2025.
Any other questions?
I just have one. The restrooms are locked when the buses aren't in operation, right? So like in the evenings at a certain time, they're going to shut down till the morning time.
Well, and certainly the ones with remote access, we can control that. With our Port Air Station, fortunately, we have a secured property there.
The question I have is, you had one, I think, for $380,000, which was restroom. Now, is that 2 restrooms or just one?
That one had demands. That one can have demands and women's, one on each side, or a gender neutral one
Okay,
on
but
each
for
side.
but for the 380, would that be 2 male and female, or whatever you want to call it, but there'll be 2?
Depending on the style, let me go back here.
Yeah, go back real quick.
So these two come with the 2 separate, male
Okay.
and female.
No,
The others are gender neutral, and
Right.
it's just the ones.
But those were the ones that were like 100 and...
Yes, sir.
But
That's
these right here, give or take, if you're looking at something like this, it'll be around 380,000, you will have 2 separate restrooms.
Yes, sir.
And some of these can be controlled, as you said, via smart technology or whatever.
Yes, sir. And this only includes the structure and the we still have to run utilities to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Some of that type.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Do we know how long people are waiting at the transfer station at any given time? Are they typically waiting 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Is that something that we can know?
Well, we won't know exactly because we don't know where everybody's going. Part of our long-range plan identified some issues with transfers, but as we move to the long-range plan and we realign our services and put some routes won't exist anymore and some new ones will be created, the transfers will be simplified. So some people could end up being out there with only a 10, 15-minute wait, but depending if you're trying to go in one of the areas that doesn't necessarily, have high frequency, it could be longer. Now, that being said, at Staple Street or Port Ayres, you're likely to have less of a wait than you're going to have in many other areas of our system there. But,
It ranges.
yeah, if somebody walks into our station there, they got off work late and they miss a bus, they could be waiting 30, 45 minutes. So I think that the chairman's concern and some of the others is, during the summer months, 30, 45 minutes is a long time out there.
Any other questions?
I have a question, or a comment, or a question, whatever you want to call it, but have you reached out to I know you've shown us photos of different models. Have you reached out to any of these places where these may be in use to find out what they see as pros and cons, or, things they wish they would have known when they selected and they're dealing with now, so that you can get that kind of anecdotal or experience type information?
Excellent suggestion. That's kind of the next step in the overall process. We wanted to gather the data first with pricing, but yes, ma'am, we will be reaching out to some of these others.
Thank you. I would add, operationally, we've talked to a lot of different agencies, but to actually, for them to quantify what their costs are, because lots of people say things, but you need to quantify what is you say it's expensive or you have issues, so how many issues do you have? What is that expense? And if you're a city the size of Dallas and you have a lot of issues, well, the population alone doesn't necessarily compare to ours. So those are some things we're going to analyze and try to help provide some of that feedback to to the board. And some work better in different environments than ours possibly too, because some of these are obviously, by looking at them, are probably more storm resistant than some of the other ones might be too.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah.
And maybe this is for Eric or just the obvious elephant in the room. I mean, we saw those pictures, 380,000. That just seems kind of, I mean, maybe these pictures aren't to scale. Maybe they're just like samples of something smaller. But if at some point we could see like actual scale versions of what this money's going to pay for, because it just seems that these restrooms cost more than my house did, and it just seems kind of out of the ordinary. That's
They're not quite at scale that the photo's trying to compress them in there, but
Okay.
as we move forward, you'll be able to see them better, and obviously we got to make sure that our space there and everything will allow for it.
That. I
So,
was just making sure.
and some of them are pre-built and essentially have like everything's like stainless steel and things that are hard to break or damage and stuff like that. So, and some of that technology unfortunately costs too, like the lighting to prevent the drug use and things like that makes it difficult for fine veins. All of that is at a cost.
Yes, it is.
And the self-cleaning aspect, because some of them have built-in sprayers that you put on timers, so it will essentially power wash itself.
So Derek, I'm assuming we have to wait to the budget year next year because we don't have the funds to begin, because the station is open and moving.
Absolutely, and that there is no budget amount. I mean, obviously, the board could do a budget amendment at any point in time, and that, but when I believe you had asked before, we are pulled out of reserves to balance the budget this year, so anything else we grab this year will be out of the reserves to fund it. So that's why we're working on, as we work for our next budget request, we're working to lay out a plan of how we're going to get to a balanced budget and also be able to do some of these things that the board is interested in doing. When we show you the budget request, that will be the determination of whether the full board wants to move forward or not.
So one last question. When we were building the Port Air Station, were restrooms ever mentioned?
They were mentioned, but it was never decided that they were going to go in. There was talks of having porta potties put out there, and that's why there's a concrete pad. But and this is a new CEO coming in, I have trouble spending $6 million on a station and having 2 porta potties sitting out there to the station. So we're trying to work on presenting a better alternative than, if we're going to do it, find a better alternative, something that's more appealing. It's hard to put that beautiful of a stadium and the artwork and all that out there and then have 2 Skittle cans, sitting out there.
And we're not required to have a restroom out there. It was just something that we're thinking about.
It's just something that we're thinking about, and many of our board members have been approached by various political officials in our area. So we are addressing it, and if the board chooses not to go that way, then that's the board's vote. If the board chooses to, they want to put the restrooms out there, then we'll support the board's actions.
I have another question or comment. Have any,
Notice.
I know that, I'm sorry for rushing in, I think I heard, when I was in the audience at the last meeting, I heard something about a suggestion box by riders or that there was a survey done and that riders were allowed to give comments. I don't remember what it was in relation to, but are riders requesting a bathroom at this particular location? Do you have any information on rider desire for this item?
I won't say we have a recent one at this particular location. We've had, for all of our facilities, there's been occasional customers that come in, requesting bathrooms, and some people have issues. But one of the reasons we haven't before, and we've done past presentations, is we've had, this building alone, we had incredibly significant challenges down there, and by closing off that restroom to basically just Greyhound customers and the people that are tenants, and that we've significantly reduced this stuff. We can go into the people being abused, and assaulted inside the restrooms, to drug use, to an older lady making pico de gallo on the floor in the restrooms, and many other interesting things that Mr. Rendon could tell you about. And we could give you an update. I think the rest of the board members probably been inundated with our photos that we've shown them, but we can give you an update just to show you some of the challenges. But this facility at Port Ayres was built a little differently. We have a fence around it and security that's going to be out there. So it's a little more controlled environment than some of our other areas of our service station. And We obviously don't have tenants out there. You know, concern here was that we have tenants and they were being exposed to some of the problems in that. So it's been requested, but it also can come with significant challenges. Not that we can't mitigate some of those, but with technology and such, but it does come with significant challenges.
Just as a comment and an observation, I drive by there quite often because I have a warehouse down the street. There is adequate security there. There is internet. There is cameras. So the security part, I'm not as concerned about. And again, I did take a trip to Arizona, and there was one in Phoenix that was really, really bad. And some of the concerns that have been addressed here were there, but they didn't have the type of security. There's somebody there. Isn't there somebody there most of the day, Mr. Rendon? At least when I drove by there, there's always somebody there. And there's a little office, I guess.
Director Salazar, yes, there is security, a guard from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We also have a officer that stays there till about 9 p.m. I can appreciate Director Torres' concern. There's the pros and cons. Yes, it'll be great if our customers can utilize a restroom. I know sometimes they wait 15, 20, 30 minutes. I just got back from Mexico City, and there's millions of people. The first thing I did is looked around for a restroom, you know, because you get on the metro and you're there 30 minutes and then change over, but there's none, right? And then public restrooms, everywhere you go, you have to pay 7 pesos, which is about 30 cents, right? But in this situation here, in this particular building, we had a super big issue reference public restrooms. And when you see individuals taking a bath, you see individuals shaving, individuals washing their clothes, individuals utilizing illegal drugs, overdosing, that's a huge concerns in public restrooms. And I believe that Director Salazar also mentioned to me a story where he was out of town and somebody says, you don't want to go into that restroom, and says, why not? You just don't want to. So those are the issues and challenges that we have. And that's what the board is going to have to decide. If we do this, these are the issues that security are going to encounter. Not if, but we're going to encounter those. So there's going to be debate on the cost and on the safety issues of our riders. So if most of our riders do want to utilize it, but they say, there's no way I'm going to go in that restroom because I know what's in there. So that's what we're going to have to debate and look forward to.
And I think, Mr. Rendon, the fact that it is fenced in, that we do have security there. We could close the restrooms and security's gone. And I think the security team does an excellent job, and I don't see why they couldn't control this particular location. I don't see it beyond your means. Second point is that I have gotten calls, and when I do get calls from either city council or commissioners, whether I'm appointed by them or not, it is a concern that was raised. And I think Mr. Director Coleman got the same concern. So Director Torres made some good points about, you know, let's look at what other areas are doing. Let's see how they're dealing with it. And obviously some areas are not doing so well. And let's look at the ones that are doing well, and let's see how we can incorporate this possibly into the budget. And if we can do it sooner, great. If we can't because of the timing, I think you've shown as on your side, Ms. Montes, that you're excellent at moving things forward once you get a little bit of guidance from the board as
Yes,
to
sir.
whether or not it needs to be done or not. But I think considering it at this point would be based on the information you're able to provide us in the next few months as far as what other locations, what the cost is. I can't imagine it costing almost $400,000. You can build a big house for $400,000. So,
Yes,
I mean, at least 2,000 square feet. So this is, I don't know the size or anything, the numbers, but I'm sure you were just using examples. And obviously you got the infrastructure, all the utilities that have to go into it. I understand that, and you have to put all that together. So
we'll be very forward and honest with the board of directors, reference the cost, the risk, and the pros and cons, and then as directors, you'll make a decision.
It's just something that was brought up, so I think it's important for us to at least bring it up to where the people that appointed us to these positions know that we are addressing it, whether it's voted up or down.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 21, committee chair reports, admin and finance. Director Chado, do you have any report?
No, nothing to report.
All right. Agenda item 21B, operations and capital projects. Director Munoz.
Nothing new to report at this time.
Nothing. Okay. 21C, Director Gonzalez, anything to report?
Just comment, and I just want to say thank you to, to Marissa and Jeremy and to the chairman. During this little hurricane scare we had, I was constantly updated on the plan, and the small town mayors were constantly updated with what the RTA was going to do in the event of a storm, and I just want to say thank you to everyone. I believe everyone acted really professional, and they were on top of all the updates, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I want to say thanks also to staff and also to Director Gonzalez for keeping your small cities, rural and small cities, I guess, aware of the situation, so good job on that. Agenda item number 21D, legislative. Director Allison, Secretary Allison.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Much to celebrate. Congratulations to everyone on the good news we received yesterday for almost $6 million being appropriated through the FTA funds for our upgrading our fleet to the CNG buses, training facility, and more infrastructure improvements. As with every grant we receive, obviously, to whom much is given, much is expected. I think that Congressman Cloud really went out of his comfort zone to help us get some of this funding, and we still have more to go after once we implement this through, thankfully, we have a good Turner Ramirez design and a plan with the CNGs, but really excited. I want to encourage each of you, if you have legislators, Congressman Clouds or Cornyn's in particulars, and De La Cruz and everyone else that we've met with in the last couple of months, please email their staff thanking them. If they weren't on our bill, show them our award so they know we mean business when we come back to visit them. So I encourage everyone, you don't have to be on the legislative committee, but reach out to staff members and thank them. That's it.
Thank you, Secretary Allison. 22 agenda item presentation. We do have 22A, 22B, 22C, Will Saldana and Robinson. As you can see, you have 15 minutes. That's total time for all of them. So you will be done at approximately, 10:28. So
all right, Gordon, I'm going to take
32.
I'm going to take 14 and a half minutes. We have the last 30 seconds.
I'm going to hold you to it because you're getting out of here by 10:45. So let's go.
All right, so this lines up with the board priority public image and transparency. So kind of a snapshot for the month of May. Passenger services was up about almost 8% more than what our baseline budget. Bus advertising down about 3% from baseline budget, and investment income, we thought interest rates would be lower by this time in years, at about 38% above baseline budget. Look at the second column from the left. Total revenues come in at about $5,083,958, while total expenses come in at $5,151,417, so about $67,000 shy of a deficit. Revenue breakdown here. The lion's share of the revenue typically comes from sales tax. That's our budget number. We won't get our sales tax number, the actual number, until either Friday or Monday, Tuesday next week, so this is an estimated number of $3.7 million. You take a look at the capital donations on the bottom, $500,000 for getting reimbursed back from some of our projects from the federal government, and then transfer in from unrestricted reserves of $491,820 to balance our budget. Revenue breakdown really quick. The top $116,687 is the revenue generated from our operations, and then the non-operational revenue, again, this lion's share of sales tax, $3.7 million of, so it's $3,975,269 of non-operational revenue. Just where the money goes, just for sake of time here, this next slide is kind of the breakdown of it here. So salaries and wages, $1.2 million, benefits, close to $800,000, services, $440,000, supplies to keep the buses running, $313,000, utilities, $71,000 and change, insurance, This is insurance, not medical insurance, because that's in benefit side, $71,000 or $54,000 and change. Public transportation, our B-line and some small volume fixed routes, $834,960. Miscellaneous, a little shy of $95,000, so total expenses of $3.85 million, under budget of $3.6 million. Year-to-date wise, passenger services about 6% over budget or over baseline budget, which is good because it's the revenue that we're looking at. Bus advertisement about 1.2% over baseline budget, and then investment income about 36% over baseline budget. So year-to-date, total revenues of $26,817,196 on a budget, and expenses $26,996,000, so about $178,861 expenses over revenue. Again, just kind of what we were saying here, our total operating and non-operating revenues of $19,329,230. Capital grants donations back from projects we have completed, a little over $5 million. We've transferred in about $2.45 million, almost $2.46 million to balance the budget. So total revenues of $26.8 million. This is just a representation of the pie chart that was before. So salaries, close to $6 million for the year. Benefits, $3.48 million for the year. Services, almost $2 million. Supplies, keep the buses going, $1.4 million. Utilities, $340,000. Insurance, $272,000. Our purchase transportation, $3.87 million. And then miscellaneous, $436,000, or $17,722,951 on a budget of $18.4 million. So from the departmental expenses perspective, there's about $700,000 or so savings from budget. Our fair recovery ratio, this is for a couple, board member, Ms. Torres, this is a revenue that we get from the operations that pays for, this is a percentage of our operation revenue that pays for our expenses here from buses, about 2.75. So you can see our fares cover a small percentage of what our operating cost. Here's a 13-month average of what we look at for our sales tax. As you can see from January till now, our sales tax, which is blue, the actual sales tax, has been a little shy of budget, but more than the prior year. So April's sales tax in 2023 came in at $3,196,995. April of 2024 came in at $3,388,757, or $191,000, almost $192,000 more than what we received April of last year. We budgeted for 3.5, and it came in at 3.38, so about $111,000 less than what we budgeted for.
Do we have any questions?
Whatever questions you may have.
Okay, hearing none, we'll go to agenda item 22B.
So this lines up with the board party of public usage and transparency. The one procurement we have out in the street is clean energy, or the CNG fueling station maintenance. We're a 5-year agreement, about $1.8 million. That should come to September board and October committee. September committee, October board. At the time that we did these, the fasteners, we were looking at exercising an option year. When we take a look at quantities and negotiating prices, it came in under $50,000, so we went ahead and signed that under the signature authority of the CEO. The bus tire leasing is, Mr. Robinson just brought that to you today, the $444,000. Heavy-duty filters, we're looking to have a 3-year contract with 1-year option, about $139,844 for that 4-year period. The Bearling lower roof replacement, we're estimating about $373,163. And both those will come in September committee, October board. Rebuilt transmissions, 2-year with a 1-year option, about $96,000 for the 30-year period, so about $32,000 a year. The low sulfur emissions diesel, 2-year contract, about $700,000, so about $350,000 a year. These contracts are under the signature authority of CEO, so they'll all be $50,000 or less. Pest control services, 2 years, a little shy of $30,000. Solid waste collection and disposable services, a 2-year period, a little over $40,000. IT support services for a 1-year agreement, $29,600, or a total of $99,886. I'll take any questions you may have.
Where is the audit at?
The what?
The audit. I think we've kind of been discussing this.
Yeah, that won't come till September. So we don't put anything up here until you're 3 months away out. So that will most likely be September, October.
When would that be effective for what day on those?
When it would go out on the street,
It'll go out in September?
that'll go out on the street somewhere July, late July or August.
Okay.
And it'll come back to the board for an award September, October.
We're going through a backlog of procurement things right now. We're meeting to prioritize which things are going out so we can set dates and all of the things. So that will be forthcoming, including dates on the presentations.
Okay, and just so, just for me here, I imagine the board too, but I'm confused here. This will be going out in July?
Late July or early August.
And
yes,
we're
sir.
already in July then?
So late July or early
Okay.
August, yes, sir.
And then it closed sometime in?
It's usually out in the street at least 45 to 60
Okay.
days. We'll do an evaluation, we'll come back to committee, then to board. Yes.
Okay. And what is the dates on those, that actual audit, that effective dates on that? Was it January, is it December? What are the terms on that contract? When do they start?
The audit period usually runs from the end of the year. We audit the previous year, so
Okay.
that'll run all the way until it gets awarded, and that's usually awarded, I'm sorry, it usually submitted around June 30th. So the
Okay.
audit period runs at least 6 months.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Mr. Director Coleman? I heard, don't mean to put you on the spot, but you know.
Derek, so I'm going to direct this to you since you are accountable to this board. We've been discussing this since December of last year.
Yes, and these audit services are not needed until next year. And with the project and many other things, and that it hasn't been a priority to get taken care of. Yes, we should have had maybe the date put up there, but it's not coming back to the board realistically until October and that for approval. So yes, we should have had the dates, but we've also, in the effort of prioritizing some of the things that are needed like now and other things that priorities I've been given, and that it hasn't, it's one that we hadn't gotten out in the street, and it may not get out in the street in quite his time frame. We have our, people come and go staffing wise. I'm not making excuses, but, we have to put everything in a time frame, and it, this last month or so has been a little more challenging on that side, but we will get the dates to you, and I don't know that it will get out exactly in the date that he's saying, because we basically, I'll just say, we just gave procurement 10 things that have been in the backlog, and some of those need to be done timely, so we will get a date for you.
The chairman just asked, and specifically asked when he said July, but you're saying it may not.
I mentioned that we have a meeting that we're going to have with staff, that's already scheduled, and staff has already worked on the stuff to show me the list of projects so that I can prioritize which ones they need to get done and on the street with the staffing that we currently have. So it may not hit the streets by the end of July, but we will get dates for everything, and we're working on the future of having dates for everything that we can show the
I
board.
will say this, I know this has been going on, and I don't want to keep this issue going on. I'd like for it to go out in July. That's what Mr. Zidane has said. It will go out in July. I want people out there, especially if you do anything with audit, you're in the business of doing that. I want them to know that, hey, in July, it's probably going to go out so they can start looking for it. You can't say, hey, maybe not, then it doesn't go out. What we want is a situation where anybody who wants to put a bid in, who's watching, because a lot of people are watching us right now, and I don't want anybody who is in this business to sit there and think that, okay, you said in June, maybe then, and then there's July, because then what happens, you're not transparent, and you think you are, but you're not, and then what happens is anybody who wants to put a bid in is going to be thinking, you're never going to go out, you don't care about it. The process seems to be going from June to July, from August to September, and so they're going to be like, why am I going to waste my time to put in a bid to an agency that doesn't seem to care when they're going to put it out? Because every time we ask that question, it's always further down the road, and that's the problem that we're faced with when it comes to anybody out there who's watching us, because they have to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. We're as open as we can be, as transparent as we can be, and if we say it's going out in July, which is what you just said, it's going out in July, because people that are watching this are going to say, hey, wait a minute, You said July, and then within about 2 minutes, then he says no, and we can't be doing that. It's July, it goes out, they put it, they look for it, and they put it in, because we can't keep doing this. It goes out.
Well, we'll make sure it's a priority. You know, we had some issues, so our multi-million-dollar contract for the CNG station, I prioritized in getting out, and that because we had to rewrite that because of issues we've had these last 5 or 6 years. But we'll make sure the audit gets
Fair
released
enough,
in
okay,
July.
it goes out in July, it's simple as
We'll
that.
make sure
Any
it's-
other questions? Let's move on to agenda item number
I got one.
22C.
I got one.
Sorry, Mr.
Just,
Saunders.
I don't disagree with our chairman or Coleman, especially Coleman, since he's been pushing for this for a long time, but I want to make sure that we not only focus on this item, but there's other items like energy contracts and stuff that I brought up in the past. So we're going to push that type of position, Mr. Chairman. I think we need to
Absolutely.
go across the
I agree
board,
with
not
you
just on this
100%.
one.
No, you're right on that. Anything that anybody on this board feels that something needs to go out or have been discussing, bring it to this attention of this board. That's what you're on this board, because, it is this board, that basically runs this organization. It's as simple as that. It's us, and if anything does not look good in the public, it's on us. It's simple as that. It's everybody on this board, and it behooves you to understand that if there's a procurement process, that is the one thing that must be transparent 100%. We say we're going out, it goes out. We cannot pull it back because it just does not look good.
Well, let's make sure that we go across the board. There was energy contracts that I brought up before, and, it was addressed, but not, there was no other, because it's, apparently the state has, we work with an agency that gives us better pricing, but that doesn't mean that the open market cannot give us a different price. So
I agree.
if we're going to, take that level of concern on this item, we need to make it across the board on all items that come before us
I agree.
to make sure we have enough time. This is not the first time this come up, Mr. Chairman. It's been over the last 2 or 3 years. So,
Okay,
and it's
well,
gotten better, a lot better.
see that
I mean,
again, just bring it to the
under
attention of this
leadership that
board
we have
and-
now,
and
it's
this-
gotten a lot better. But at the same time, I think that Coleman has been something that he's addressed probably 4 or 5 times at board meetings, and
Over here.
I think that we need to get it done.
I agree, and I appreciate it. I will say, and it's not an excuse, we just got, we base some of our scopes of work on feedback we get from the federal agencies and others. We just got our NTD clearance letter on, right before the hurricane on Wednesday, which is part of one of the audits and financial information. So sometimes they change rules, and we have to tell the auditor that you have to change rules, and we're finishing up our quadrennial review, which is a requirement of the state, and hopefully this week, we're going to have the draft of their final report there, which they audit our financials. The state does as well through this. So if they say they want something else, so we have to tell our auditors in the scope of work. And these are things that we need to clarify better when we're building timeframes, and we'll make sure that those timeframes are accurate moving forward, and we're
Any other
taking
questions?
into this.
Any other questions? Let's move on to agenda item number 22C. Mr. Robertson, you basically have no time, but feel free.
You got 1 minute left.
Yes, sir. I'll get right to business here. Okay. For the May 2024 month, in terms of highlights here, we had almost 11% growth in ridership as compared to last May. Revenue service hours up almost 8%, and revenue service miles up about 7.5%. In terms of where we've been this year, you can see we finished off at just over 310,000, 313,174, and we've been up for the first 5 months of the year, which is great over last year. In terms of the breakdown by mode, you can see fixed route bus finished up about almost 12% up, Beeline almost 8% up there, little dip in flex fee compared to last May, as well as Vanpool and rural services. Year to date, we're 13% up, which is great. We're 1.5 million passenger trips. And if you look at the breakdown here, you can see fixed route has the bulk of that at 1.38 million. Beeline is high as well at almost 81,000, and then so forth. In terms of on-time performance, you can see here in May we finished at 93.7, which is fantastic. Very, very high on-time performance rate comparable to last month. In terms of projects out there that are impacted by detours or construction, there's just a few remaining, as you can see on the screen here. A lot of them have started back in 2023. We're closely monitoring these, and we do have regular meetings with the City of Corpus Christi and other entities, including TxDOT and Flatiron Dragados. Upcoming projects that will impact routes 5 and 17 on Brownlee. That's to begin the middle of this year. Other ones are in design right now or on hold. Beeline performance, MV transportation method metrics on passengers per hour 2.51, which is great. On-time performance at 85.1. Miles train road calls at almost 30,000, so no issues there with the miles train road calls. terms of customer assistance forms or CAFs, these are calls that come in through our customer service center or that we collect through other means. You can see here that the rating was 0.49 for the month of May, meaning basically half a passenger per 10,000 where we received a complaint from. In terms of Beeline, you can see that number is at 0.55, so just over that, and that's per 1,000 passenger trips. And then miles train road calls, we finished the month here at almost 8,000, it's 7,801, which a little bit lower than last May, but over our standards. So that concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Let's go on to, well, I'm trying to take them out of order. Director Allison, I think you have to leave. If you want to say something right now before you leave, feel free to do that. If not, we'll just do the CEO report.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair. Commending everyone who's worked on our legislative grant proposals and look forward to working with you all and getting more good news in the coming year.
Well,
Excited to have Amanda too.
thank you. Okay, back to agenda item number 23, CEO report.
All right, so to start with is our award announcements. Obviously, the big one is the grant, 5339 grant from the lower no emission buses for approximately $5.8 million. I want to say, obviously, thank you to Senator Cornyn and Representative Cloud, but I also want to say thank you to all of our board members who have helped out with working with our legislators and our federal partners in getting this money. So thank you all for your hard work, and thank you, staff, for all the hard work that you put in for applying for these grants. We also received notice that we received our budget award by the Government Finance Officers Association. That was just announced to us prior to the board meeting. So the next board meeting will actually have the award, but I wanted to make sure that the board members were all hearing the good news. Our fixed route during June remained steady compared to June 2023 at about 9,616 for a weekday average. And traditionally, once the school's let out, we do see the decrease through the summer. Transportation, MV Transportation offered free rides to and from cooling centers due to the heat advisories we've had throughout the month of June. And then we at our tropical weather monitoring preparation, our leadership team closely monitored and prepared for Hurricane Tropical Storm Beryl. Leadership met and had ongoing communication with the National Weather Service, our emergency operations centers for the city of Corpus Christi, and the emergency management offices for the Nueces County. Our rural evacuation procedures and services were communicated with our neighboring small cities leadership, so thank you, Director Gonzalez, for that. Service disruptions were announced via social media, our CCR website, GoPass, mobile app, and media. Our facilities fleet were well prepared for the potential weather impacts, which include stocking up on the materials that we need to have ahead of time. As an essential staff were put on notice for storm support, and many of our team worked tirelessly throughout until we were all greeted with that Sunday morning report that it was passing us by. We also assisted with the evacuation of individuals from North Beach area to the Corpus Christi natatorium from flooding caused by Tropical Storm Alberto. We had about 20 individuals that were moved for shelter. Of course, we had our Port Ayers ribbon cutting on June 14th, so it was great seeing all of our board members and many of our stakeholders there. We had Andy Dooley from the office of Senator John Cornyn. We had Representative Cloud had a video message, and also had Barbie as local representative there. We had Don Koski with the FTA Region 6. He's a Deputy Regional Administrator. Representative Todd Hunter, Nueces County Commissioner John Mares in place of the County Judge. Councilmember Sylvia Campos, Councilmember Roland Barrera, and Councilmember Michael Hunter were also there, along with Judge Joe Benavides. And our Port Ayers transfer station officially opened for service on July 1st. Just some of the photos from the event. A great, well-attended event. Had nothing but positive feedback from throughout the community. And for my CEO's meetings and events, I met with Gail Lissie, our regional administrator for Region 6, to discuss our initiatives that we have ongoing, that we have upcoming, and talk about our current grant application. So I'm very pleased to see that we got something, and that we presented our year in review to the Corpus Christi Mayor Guajardo and the City Council on June 25th. And Chairman Granado, Secretary Allison, and our Deputy CEO and I met with Nueces County Judge Scott to provide general updates and a tour of our Staple Street Center. No, she was a former board member. She had never been in here prior. She also gave us some great feedback on our legislative initiatives. Our CCRTA recognized former board chair Dan Leindecker for his service on June 27th. Chairman Granado, Director Coleman, and Director Munoz attended the Education is Our Freedom Luncheon on June 20th. We participated in the Mayor's Big Bang celebration press conference announcing free park and ride shuttle services for the event. And we had our Texas Transit Association board meeting, and I was reappointed as a board director for another term. And our Safety and Security conducted its first heat stress safety awareness training on June 27th. We had approximately 20 facilities maintenance personnel that participated and learned about the hazards of heat stress and how to minimize the effects and what things to watch out for and how to help your comrades should you see some of them having some heat stress issues. We had retirement celebrations for Cesar Garza, which you just saw, celebrating his 38 years of service. Oscar Vargas, our senior transit planner who just retired with 34 years of service, and Romeo, one of our bus operators who just retired with 30 years of service. We also had our employee appreciation event at the Bolero on June 30th. And you actually see on one of the photos there, we actually caught Jeremy playing games with the kids out there. So that was it was a very entertaining event, well received. And they all loved the AC. Last year we did it out at the park, but it's quite hot during the, the summertime here. So they're asking how we're going to top this for next year. We had many community outreach events, which included the Service Development Department and Public Relations continuing to perform outreach for our upcoming service improvements at the Staples Street Station in Port Ayres. At that particular event, we had more than 124 individuals that we made contact with. Participated in the Nueces County Hurricane Evacuation Drill at the R&B Fairgrounds. Provided a bus for the City of Corpus Christi SWAT team to conduct emergency exercises, and this is something we generally do about every 6 months or at their request. We, of course, have provided shuttle services for the Mayor's Big Bang celebration, and I don't think it had a lot going on this week that people were excited about, but the artwork shuttle service as well. I think everybody was preoccupied with storm prep that time. And then for our upcoming events, this Friday on July 12th, we have our visit with Gillig over there in Livermore, California. And then we have our APTA board seminars that some of you and our board assistant secretary Marissa will be attending. July 24th, we have our CCRTA committee meetings. August 7th is our board meeting. August 15th, we will have our Human Trafficking Summit with many of the local and federal and state law enforcement agencies attending. August 28th is CCRTA's committee meetings, and giving everybody advance notice that September 29th through October 2nd is the APTA Transform Conference in Anaheim, California.
All right, thank you. Agenda item number 24, reports from board chair and board members. I just want to say congratulations to the staff for all the great things you did on getting us our $5.88 million. I think did a good job on that, writing the grant, doing everything that needed to be done. I also want to thank the boards, doing a good job, good effective board. I mean, if we didn't have a good board, obviously we wouldn't be getting this 5.88. Thanks for all those that actually did go up there and up to DC. It's important that they do see that we engage in meeting with all the congressmen and U.S. senators. So I want to say thanks and all that. I want to keep it as short as possible. Good job on the CEO report. You're doing a lot of stuff. We may have to start limiting the report to maybe half a month because it's getting longer and longer with all the good stuff you're doing and all the good things the RTA is doing. Having said that, I'm done. I do want to now do board members, and we're starting on this side, as I said last time, with Director Coleman. You can start off first, sir. There you go. Your report.
Just two things. The bus drivers, I've been paying attention to our bus drivers out there, and they do a really good job on making those turns. I mean, it's just amazing how they make those sharp turns. So y'all have some really good drivers out there that are paying attention. And also, I've noticed the stations over the one behind the mall, well, really all of them, they're really being kept up and cleaned, at least whenever I'm driving by during the day. So, and also, I just wanted to make note of it, which was kind of brought to my attention that we acknowledge also the Biden administration and the Secretary of Transportation for their work and assisting us in getting those funds, that money. they have to sign off on that stuff, and so I just want to make for sure that's on the record. And other than that, I want your staff to know, your finance director to know, our responsibility up here. I am not a board of director who, picks at someone, but I want you to know whenever I'm asking for a deliverable that I think the majority of us would like to get that. So I don't want anyone on your team to ever take offense to my approach whenever I'm speaking about something. That's it, sir.
Just shout out to the staff for obviously for all the grant that we received, particularly to Rita and Jeremy. I know y'all were integral in actually writing the grant, and we learned a lot last year from and y'all actually applied what y'all learned, and we're reaping the benefits of it. So thank you again.
Committee Chair Chado.
Huge congratulations, Rita, Jeremy, your team that wrote the grant. While we can go up there and we can get a letter of support and we can go, try to get that support in DC, it takes somebody to actually build a successful application for them to even consider. So I know the hard work and the time that it takes to create the grant. So huge congratulations. It's great. That's awesome. I'm so excited that we were awarded that and we will get some new CNG buses. We are doing some phenomenal things at RTA. I'm so excited. Thank you for the CEO report. That was, it was really a great report and everything that we're doing. Congratulations to Finance on their budget award. That's exciting. Great job to Robert and Sandy over there doing great things in finance. So awesome. Thank you.
Chair Jimenez.
Rita, you are amazing. I really appreciate the time and the effort and the hard work. It's not easy to do grant applications, but you are doing a great job. With your team, Jeremy and Shaylee, you guys are just excelling, and it makes me super happy and proud to be part of the RTA. I love seeing our buses out there. We're doing a lot of great community things. It makes my heart happy. Good job, everyone.
Director Daughters.
Well, this is my first meeting, and thank you for putting up with me through my first meeting. I, again, applaud the staff, Rita, your team, on the award that the RTA recently received from the government. It's amazing. I think I looked at the announcement and saw that the TxDOT got an award, and we, RTA, along with, I think, only El Paso, there was only 2 entities that received individualized awards. So congratulations. As Director Chado said, it really is necessary to have a good application and good writing done in order to have somebody read it, see that you did everything you're supposed to do in that application, and give you some money. So good job, guys. This is my first meeting. I'm looking forward to getting more involved and to just learning about this board and this process as I go along. Thank you for the information you provide us. If I ever ask questions that are silly, I apologize. Just tell me. We'll talk afterwards. So I appreciate all of your help, and I'm looking forward to getting going. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Daughters, and there's never no silly questions. You're fine. And Director, Mr. Salazar.
Yeah, just congratulations again to the team. I mean, we got a great team. As far as contracts and transparency, y'all have stepped it up
We've got more
a
coming, don't
huge,
worry.
a huge level, and I think there's still some things that possibly we can work on. With regards to the grant, I think it's great that Director Coleman acknowledged, obviously Cornyn and Cloud were very instrumental in the legislative team to get it done, but under the current administration is where the money came from, and Pete Buttigieg should be acknowledged at some point in there because he is the head of the department, and there's probably people under him that made sure that we got that funding. That's $5.8 million. So I think acknowledgement needs to be done, whether it's Republican in there or Democrat, it doesn't matter. To me, we got the money, and we should congratulate all those that were responsible. The team that went there, Granado, your team did an excellent job. The legislative chair did an excellent job. But I think the acknowledgement of who actually got us the funding at the very top, had that administration not been there, we may not have gotten the money. So I think it's important that in the report, because I saw one that didn't mention anything about Cloud or Cornyn, and the second one that I saw mentioned both of them, which is great because they were instrumental, but the administration itself also needs to be acknowledged and the head of that department.
Dr. Munoz.
Thank you. Just want to say congratulations to Director Torres on your first meeting. Great insights, great questions, and look forward to continuing to work with you. just good job to the whole team on the hurricane prep. I know up until like Sunday morning, we thought, like everyone was saying, like those things coming to Corpus, like get ready. And then like Sunday afternoon, it was like, yo, is it even gonna rain today or? So, but it was a good, forgive the pun, Gordon. It was a good dry run on our preparation and things like that. But great job. It just goes to show. I mean, I think we've seen already in the first month of June it's going to be a very active season, and so just being prepared. I just want to give a kudos to the team on that. And then I've never won the lottery before. I have won a car in a raffle, but yesterday when I found out we got $6 million, I felt like we won the lottery. You know what I'm saying? So, just wanted to say congratulations and thank you and great job and whatever else, kudos, whatever, to the team, specifically Rita. I know we have a lot of people in here who do a lot of grant writing and things like that, and it's very technical, it's very specific. One word could make or break your whole thing, and just having that knowledge and expertise that you bring to the table to be able to deliver those types of things to us, I just want to commend you on that. And then I also want to commend the most popular person at the RTA, as we found out at the Corpus Christi City Council meeting, Jeremy Sidio, who is probably the only thing that the 9 of them could agree on unanimously is that Jeremy is probably the greatest employee the RTA has ever had. And so I just want to thank him. Obviously, like I said before with Erica, it's one thing for us to say, okay, we see Jeremy's doing a great job, but it's other things for our staff to be recognized by individuals from the city council. And specifically, I wanted to mention when I went to the Port Airs transfer station, Andy from Senator Cornyn's office specifically asked me, where's Jeremy? And I thought she was asking about Director Coleman initially. And she was like, I just want to thank him for all the updates he's been giving me. He's keeping me on point. And I was like, I don't think that's Director Coleman. I think that's the other Jeremy, right? So, but no, I know he's not here right now, but super shout out to him. He's phenomenal, amazing, tremendous job. Shaylee, our comms team, I've expressed to her how impressed I am with the work that she's done. We just have an amazing team here, and like the rest of us, I'm very, very proud to be a part of this organization, so thank you.
Thank you, Director Munoz. And just kind of going back on Director Salazar, good points here, and also on Coleman in reference to where the actual money did come from the administration. And I know we're going to be trying to put together some type of, I don't know if it's presentation or some type of just a thank you for both of them. I know we're going to be inviting Senator Cornyn and Congressman Klatt, and obviously we can probably invite maybe Secretary of Transportation also to that meeting. Dad will show up, but we can still make the invitation to thank him on behalf. But we'll have those invitations definitely going out to those two. And I don't know when that's going to be, but staff will start working on that. Having said that, it's now 10:52 and we are adjourned.